gentlemen, welcome back to CCS Season 2. This is week number 4, Playday 2 of the week. My name is Titangles, and boy, what a game it was, that last game. Holy moly. I'm going to have to go back and look at the VOD on that. And for those of you that are wondering, hey, what happened to the Chronos and the Honor game? Well, the first game ran so long that our third game of the evening was scheduled to start right about now. So in the interest of not making our players go into zombie mode, we've decided to move Game 2 to off-stream, which is currently being recorded and will be available just like Game 1. And this game will be later on YouTube, probably this weekend. We apologize, but we do try to let our players have a little bit of breathing room, and it is quite a late match. So that being said, my name is Titangles. Welcome. Today, earlier we were joined by Crazy Man and Maddie, but right now we are joined by veteran Friday caster, Mr. Talon.
Hey, hey, hey.
And for the first time, welcome to CCS, Mr. Oz.
Hey, great to be here.
Hey, so I know you guys are thinking, well, what the heck happened to Fox A? Well, our normal Friday caster. Well, you guys will find out in just a second. Guys, I don't know if you caught the first game, but holy moly, what a match. 2 overtimes, map 3, comebacks, crazy flicks, crazy, just about everything. What did you guys think?
Heck of a comeback.
Yeah, agreed. You know, that I was not expecting it to go into a third map the way it did. So I got to say, great job for them for, able to keep it up for as long as they did.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, enough about the first game. It was great. Again, you can go watch it again and again. I hope you guys clip some good moments. What do we have in front of us? Well, it's the big one, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, FlipSid Tactics versus number 3, Most Wanted. 2 Pro League teams. It didn't happen in Pro League. And we are excited to provide this game to you guys in CCS here today. Boy, howdy, I am excited. We're getting the players in now, so let's start by having a look at this stat. So, FlipSid, 31 rounds they've taken, and only 9 rounds won against them. Last week, before they played Omen, they only had 4 rounds against them after playing 2 games. 1.73 team kill-death ratio and a 3-0 record. Guys, can these guys be stopped?
Honestly, it's kind of interesting because, as you guys can see, both of these teams are kind of undefeated. However, in my opinion, you got to remember, FlipSid is going into Pro League relegations, which means they very well might not want to be able to, show off their best strats. They might be trying to hide some of them, maybe just, play some very cookie cutter sort of strats. So, they very well could be. I think the chances of Most Wanted actually able to beat FlipSid is pretty high tonight.
I think there's a chance that they're going to fight a little bit for pride as well, though. Being kicked down to relegations means they're going to be a little bit butthurt, and they may want to show off a bit tonight.
Absolutely. And it has come into question time and time again for these teams that are actively playing in Challenger, actively playing in Pro League, and now with relegations coming up, are they bringing out the real stats? And honestly, most of the time the answer is no. But we'll talk a little bit more in just a minute. We are getting the players into the game, and we are going to have a look at FlipSid's starting 5 for tonight. Mr. Talon, would you start us off, please?
I'd be glad to. So first up, we're going to have Mint, Hot and Cold, Jarvis, Pojo, and to round it off, you're going to have Adam. Honestly, these guys have been together for a while. Some small changes here and there, but the core roster has definitely been something that we've seen time and time again throughout several seasons of Pro League and even into last year.
Adam may not have been there all 40 rounds, but he's definitely been around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of these guys have tons of Pro League experience, which you said, the core's been together, so they probably had some good core strategies and stuff that the newer players just had to learn real fast, work on their team synergy a little bit, and now they're back. And I've been watching them for the first 3 weeks here, and I got to say, this doesn't look like the same team that was in Pro League this season. They look so crisp and so clean, even running more generic style tactics. They look so in control of every match that they played so far. It looks like they're a different team to me. And I think tonight is going to be the first true test of their skill, right? I think tonight is going to be the first time that somebody has equal amount of skill, so it's going to come down to teamwork. And I think that FlipSide's kind of made a change for the better, and I think that they're doing fantastic. So I'm excited to see that. The players are getting in, so I'm going to kind of move this along a little bit. Mr. Oz, we're going to have a look at the starting 5 for Most Wanted. If you don't mind, sir, would you please do us the honor?
Absolutely. We've got King Leo, Trippin, Thinking Nate, Chala the God, and a little bit of a twist, Fox A here playing for this time. You can see his stats. He has 0 rounds, but he is definitely another well-known player. He was on a Most Wanted before, not quite the same one, but definitely got some experience.
Yeah, and before anybody freaks out, no, Fox A isn't officially part of the Most Wanted roster now. He is just a sub tonight for Most Wanted in CCS. Any other plans they have with him? They haven't told me anything. They just told me that he's going to be subbing because I think one of their players couldn't make it. So before you get your hopes up, sorry guys, he's just a sub tonight. And what a great sub that they picked up. So that explains why he's not here doing the casting. However, Oz, we are glad that you're here. You know, here's the thing. Here's my opinion. So F3 has their whole roster here, but they have relegations to go through. And you can be damn sure that the team that they're going to be playing in relegations is going to be watching them like a hawk. So that being said, they can't quite do everything they want to do as far as strategy concerned. On the other hand, you've got Most Wanted, who they're just kind of chilling until the next season starts, right? They ain't got nothing to do, so they have nothing to lose, so they can go balls to the wall with the strats, but they have a sub tonight. So what do you guys think about the current situation?
I think this could be a good scrim practice for them to try out some strats leading up to invitational qualifiers and work their way towards that. I definitely think this is still something useful for them. I don't think they will be just slacking off, but they're definitely not necessarily going to be too worried, as you said, about giving away strats, but this could be a good time for them to form some new ones.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. And I think, honestly, going into, you know, the ban phase up here shortly, this is a great, fantastic opportunity to try maps that you definitely would not normally see out of these teams. You know, we've seen, you know, Consulate and Coast, you know, we've seen all these, you know, maps before. However, you know, being able to test out new strats on new maps is a very, very valuable way to get things done. And with that, it looks like we will be going into the bans. First one is going to be by FlipSide, and that's going to be Coastline.
That should be interesting. I mean, that's one we've seen some teams want to bring out. FlipSide, I think I remember being decent at it. They like to do a lot of unconventional strats normally, so it is one that fits with their style.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have seen, so both FlipSide and Most Wanted have actually played Coastline before in CCS this season. So the fact that it was the first time, like it was the very first ban, I actually honestly do not agree with FlipSide. Maybe they're just, you know, trying to wing it. They're just going to throw it out in the beginning. They say, hey, we don't want to play it. And then look at that. Most Wanted's actually going to get rid of Consulate as well. That's 2 maps that both of these teams have played. Could we very well have been seeing some counter bans?
Well, we did see Coastline play pretty well by Most Wanted up against Continuum in Pro League, so it is definitely something that they obviously saw and didn't want to have to deal with today. Consulate, though, is definitely a little more of a surprise, but Cafe, not so much, I guess.
So it looks like we're kind of trending toward this Oregon Border Chalet, Oregon Border Clubhouse. Yeah, I know. What are you going to do? Those are the maps that you can almost hold your breath until they definitely come out whenever the CCS play day comes around. And I remember that Most Wanted on Coastline, they were down 4-1, and they came back and took the map against Continuum. So,
oh, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can see why FlipSide might say nope to that one. And here the trend continues with Skyscraper being banned out by Most Wanted. I was kind of hoping to see some janky maps. I'm still got my eye on Bank, though, guys. What do you think?
On Bank, yeah, that's what I was actually just thinking about. We have seen Most Wanted play on Bank, and I know historically in the past, FlipSide is not afraid to play Bank. We've seen him in Pro League so many seasons. So honestly, I really would like to see a Bank in the final 3, preferably not as the tiebreaker. I'd like to see either the first or the second map. And honestly, each team only has 1 more ban. So this is kind of it. You know, does FlipSide want to play it or not? And this is what they're going to be saying.
Yeah, I would more likely see Chalet go, as that's just not been a Pro League map overall for the most part, and this is 2 Pro League teams. So it'd be more common, I think, to see Bank. Flipside was a team that led off a lot of good Bank plays, like even the CEO holds, pushing the whole Jackal meta on that map, things like that. So it is a good map for them. And there goes Chalet, but Most Wanted, that counter ban.
Oh, yeah, Most Wanted,
So
man.
close.
What are you doing?
So there it
breaking our
is. The Oregon Border Clubhouse trio that we're so used to seeing.
Yeah. I would expect Clubhouse to be the third one, the decider, but
Probably.
Wanted could pull something out here.
Absolutely. And let's think about it this way, guys. Do you think that these maps are coming out because these teams can run more generic style strategies on it and not just be playing straight up ranked?
Yeah, I mean, there's a clear meta on these maps. Flipside being the one that tends to play more off meta, but I definitely think they could play to a meta on these. However, I mean, Most Wanted has shown a lot of good stuff on Oregon that I don't know if they're going to want to use or not on here, as it was countered pretty well by Continuum once they'd shown it off early in the season.
Yeah, completely there. I think that's probably what's happening is that they just don't want to, show that, hey, we can play these maps, but we're just going to stick to the generic 3 that everyone knows, that everyone plays. So that way, they're not giving absolutely anything. Because you got to remember, when you're a player, like as an individual on a team, playing in a strategy, even though the strat is to not run the strat, if that kind of makes sense, you're still going to do individual tendencies. Part of that, you're going to peek, the same angles. You're going to try and sit in the same spots or near the same places. So while you might not have the same reinforcements, while you might not have the same castles, while you might not have the same mirrors, there's still individual tendencies that you can pick up from something like this. And again, so that's really what I think is what it comes down to. And it's a very smart decision from Flipside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Well, sorry to cut you off there. The teams are ready, and we are running out of time in the lobby. So I will say really quick before we go, guys, what are your predictions?
Hard to say.
Go ahead, Oz.
Crickets.
I mean, I feel like Most Wanted could take this just because they've been the stronger team in Pro League. But at the same time, Flipside, as you said, have been kind of trying some new stuff. And Fox A is a fill-in. So it could go either way. Depends on how much they are able to communicate with him to make sure that he's able to do what they need him to. And then if so, I think Most Wanted could take it. But otherwise, Flipside could surprise.
Yeah, okay. I agree there. I do think it's going to be Most Wanted here.
I don't want to pick, but I did such a beautiful job picking on map 1. I am going to go the opposite of y'all's choice, and I'm going to give the W to Flipside, although I think it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. And, guys, we won't leave you waiting any longer. We are going to be going into this game. So, Mr. Oz, Mr. Talon, good luck, and I hope it's an entertaining game. I'm sure it will be.
Thank you, sir.
Making it almost sounds like we're the ones playing. I'm getting anxiety just based off of that.
Where was our interview?
Yeah, I didn't get an interview. I wasn't ready. I don't have Moss running.
But Border here, we should see some interesting stuff, I imagine. It's a team. It's one that everyone's played like constantly, especially going back to like even last year Pro League. So everyone's kind of evolved a bit of a meta on it.
Every team kind of has their own sort of unique flavor to Border. Ever since I think it was year 1, season 3 is when, Border really started to kind of get pulled into it. We've certainly played it a lot on, I believe it was Ferocity at the time. Now, we're Onslaught. But yeah, we've always been love playing it. Everyone has kind of, followed in those tracks. Speaking of like following in the tracks, something that Flipside's actually kind of, started the trend, I feel like, is actually playing inside of like customs. That customs and supply hold is actually starting to gain a lot more popularity in the Pro League. Not just Flipside, but a lot of teams have decided, Border is one of those places where every single site is viable. So you do have to have a lot more plans because it's just a map that's been played so much. Everyone has tried just about everything you can think of.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Bathroom Teller has been definitely the weekend. A lot of people tried it and failed. So Customs has been developing quite a bit thanks to Continuum as well, pushing that. So between these two teams, I think we'll probably see a Customs hold at least once here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like the second or third site for Flipside. I don't think that they're going to go and do it like straight off the bat. Maybe if they win this first attack round, we very well could see them get kind of cocky and be like, hey, let's just pull it out. Let's see what happens, right? Because everyone knows that they played at this point, so they're not really trying to hide anything at this point. Maybe they just want to say, all right, we only have one specific strat for that sort of hold, so let's just not do it. Let's just stick to the, the standard, vents and armory. That would not surprise me either.
Yeah, I mean, Vents is such a good secondary defense site. I expect that we'll see that for both teams. They're definitely starting out with what looks like an attack here onto Archives, though, surprisingly.
Yeah, exactly. There are quite a few people and drones, stage over towards this office side. They do have a mirror on that Archives wall, so that's going to make it pretty tough to really try and push into that fountain. The fountain is reinforced, so that's going to kind of give Chala a little bit of extra cover that, a lot of teams wouldn't normally expect. So they're going to be tripping. He's going to be trying to help him out. Got a lot of people all grouped up on East Stairs, and I can't help but think, one C4, one Ella charge and one Ella rush could just ruin this entire attack. They seem to be very slow already, a minute and 10 seconds into the round.
Yeah, they're definitely stacking up pretty heavy. You see it getting punished there with Jarvis getting taken out early, but at least Adam got thinking nade.
So a good trade there. Definitely onto that Twitch. So Jarvis going down early. A Twitch for a Valkyrie. Valkyrie should already have her cams out. That is so valuable. That mirror is still intact, so those Twitch runs not able to really find their mark this time around. Hopefully we'll see him kind of adapt his strategies. Looks like the rest of FlipSid is going to try and get in. Hot and Cold did get hit by that Ella charge. Meanwhile, we do have Mint pushing up close. He's going to get a frag kill onto Fox. That's going to be the smoke. That is another very important operator, but this time it's going to be on the defensive end. God, Hot and Cold is just so timid as he's trying to push in here. Meanwhile, we do have Chala did get down, so he's going to be picked up. Hot and Cold still trying to throw some flashbangs in. He's still trying to, distract. Trippin's going to go ahead and rotate underneath. However, they still have coverage on East Stairs. Yeah, it looks like Chala's going to go ahead and jump down with him, try and, pick him back up and slow down the pace of this round.
Definitely not working out in Most Wanted's favor here. They have been able to get a bit of damage done, but taking out only Jarvis. This attack's gonna come down heavy, and there goes one more.
Looks like Chala is just sitting here at that beeper door. He's gonna be able to find the Blackbeard. It's gonna be a 1-on-2 situation. The bomb was able to cross over into Armory, so they know Chala is outside of the site. He has really only 2 ways to get in. Adam is now on the mirror. Oh, this is just so unfortunate, but he still has one Ella mine. He's gonna be able to put that off. He's gonna rush in, not gonna be able to find it, as Adam is gonna be able to clean it up, and FlipSid takes round number 1.
They definitely had a good spread there. We're able to attack from multiple sides despite the initial push on the single side. Just able to take control of that site. Nicely done. Definitely feel like the defenders didn't really know how to defend against that particular attack. They seemed to be struggling to actually get the kills and the angles, and they were just getting picked off trying to peek them. So it's definitely not them on their best. But that was the first round. They were not necessarily prepared for it. So plenty of opportunity for them to adjust if that's tried a second time.
Yeah, exactly. Something they noticed that was actually kind of interesting, we haven't seen a whole lot of CCS teams do exactly, is actually, they had control of that Archives once Chala and Trippin dropped, but then on FlipSid, they actually pushed all the way across into Armory. They took an aim with King Leo and was able to win that. Chala was actually able to pick up the Blackbeard on his crossover just because he's so slow. They pushed all the way across, and then they held that position, and I think that is actually very smart, because you got to remember, Armory is a much easier place to try and hold for a post plant in comparison to what, and personally, Archives is pretty difficult. They didn't have that wall open behind B. There wasn't a thermite. I don't know if they were actually able to get those Habanas off or not. So the fact that they pushed across was a very good call made by their IGL.
Yeah, I definitely think it worked out pretty well. Again, I'm not sure that all that would work out a second time if they're a little more prepared for it, but they did seem to be able to rotate pretty well and adjust, and that's the important thing, is that if they go to attack it again, and there's adjustments made by Most Wanted on the defense, that F3 might be able to make adjustments of their own on that attack and succeed with it, even if they have to rotate all the way around to pushing Armory.
Exactly. So we're going to go ahead and get into round number 2 here. Once again, we're going to be seeing that Archives and Armory hold. One big difference is going to be that Pulse. I got to say, I'm a big fan of Pulse here, and I'm surprised a whole lot of teams, aren't really running it as much as it used to. Do you know why that is?
It's hard to say. Like, I definitely imagine they're trying stuff out as well. Like, this is like I said at the beginning, they're going to be trying a lot of stuff out for both sides. So we'll see if it continues, though.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like we will be having the same sort of setup for Most Wanted. A lot of very heavy on the east side of the map. We actually have a bandit trick coming out from Mint. They only have 2 nades, and that's going to be on the hands of Thinking Nade. So will they actually be able to realize that he's actually battery tricking that triple wall? They need to get him onto the roof ASAP, try to get a nade down into there. Need to get him droned out, need to push him off, or else they're not going to really be able to push into office all that well.
Yeah, they have a buck to be able to control from below. It doesn't look like they're spending a lot of time like actually taking control of the bottom floor. And I don't know if there's really any roamers. There we go. There's Thinking Nate doing his job from below. You see them starting to get rotated out of position because of that buck. Very vital on this map. Thinking Nate is a good buck, so it's definitely paying off as he takes down Jarvis with it, with a nice headshot.
That is the pulse as well. So that is so much utility, excuse me there. You know, that C4 as well as that scanner. That's going to actually be crazy. He's actually going to pick up another one. That's going to be Adam on smoke. Single-handedly taking out 2 now. He's getting even more callouts. All these drones are just like helping him out. Super crazy. You know, Hot and Cold is going to be, you know, trying to make something happen down below. He will be able to pick him up. So that's Thinking Nate out of the picture. However, I can't help but think the damage has been done as Trippin is now inside of Archives.
Yeah, Thinking Nate got his job done. That's the important thing. He softened up the site for them. Now they're able to actually start pushing in. You see Fox trying to do exactly that with Trippin's help, clearing out some barbed wire with King Leo as well here. Unfortunately, Fox gets taken down, but they still got an insight. Unfortunately, King Leo going to be backing off with the diffuser, though, is a big problem.
Yeah, they had it so close. They were looking for that plant. However, that single wall did get kind of opened up. Hot and Cold did throw that Ela mine, so that's going to give away Trippin's position. It is a 3-on-3. Mint is definitely close to that sandwich window. He could do a jump out. However, it's not going to do that much. Hot and Cold still kind of just chilling out, not really doing too much, just waiting for something to happen. As the attackers only have 30 seconds left. Seems like they're wasting a lot of time, but I like what the defenders are doing. They're waiting for that plant. It looks like a TK. That is indeed a TK. Shala is going to take out Trippin as Trippin sidesteps into his pre-fire spray, as well as Hot and Cold is going to take down King Leo. It is not looking good for Most Wanted here. FlipSid definitely poised to take this up 2-0.
Nicely done. If anyone was going to clutch that, it was going to be Chalo, but unfortunately wasn't able to do so. He was kind of trapped in a position where everyone knew where he was at that point. He was just trying to fight angles at best, but he had too many people to fight. Maybe if it was just 2 left, might have been able to clutch that out, but unfortunately for him, did not work out in their favor, and that brings F3 up to 2-0. They're definitely getting those kills. Thinking Nate and King Leo actually doing most of the killing, surprisingly. I'm expecting a bit more from Chalo here in the future. Fox A, unfortunately, dropping some donuts with Trippin. Trippin also has been one to clutch out a lot of situations, so I expect we'll see these numbers shift around quite a bit as the rounds go on, but so far, FlipSid has been off to a good start.
Yeah, and of course, I just have to reiterate, you got to remember, Fox is a sub, so, you know, Most Wanted is definitely kind of missing, or could potentially be missing, a key component of a lot of their strategies. So even though they shouldn't really be afraid to pull out a lot of things, their teamwork is definitely suffering there. You know, we didn't see really the Habana open up that Archives wall. Honestly, both teams really kind of failed to open up behind that Archives wall. We saw that they were trying to get the plant down for Most Wanted. They just couldn't quite find it, as you know, they just couldn't quite, you know, find a safe spot for it. You still had someone inside of Fountain that was Hot and Cold. He was able to deny anything that was going to be planted on the close, like up next to the window for Archives. So just needed to push him out, or focus a little bit better on pushing him out. Either bring a Ying, use your flashbangs more effectively, or even actually bring a Thermite. You know, be able to Thermite open that Archives wall, get a little bit more angles, or more effectively use that Twitch. They did actually have a mirror set up inside of security, I believe that was, for FlipSid. So that was also limiting a lot of the factors that, or a lot of the routes they could have used.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, going for that Archives take, they really needed to be able to actually get that plant down and be able to guard it. Otherwise, they were fighting a situation where they were just losing manpower, losing people as they were trying to make that fight happen. And it didn't seem like they had a good strategy for actually taking the room once they had control of it and holding it, going for a plant. And then with Leo rotating out, that really kind of left them in a situation where they couldn't get that plant off. So hopefully they can defend this round a little bit better than the first round. Now they're going to be a little more prepared for it. But now it looks like FlipSid actually going to take control of CCTV first, might actually be going for an A-side take instead. And this might throw off any defenses they were setting up for that previous style.
Yeah, this is actually very, very smart. A little bit of a pre-droning, told them, hey, listen, they're not holding inside of security. That is a free take. There is no buck, however, so they're not going to be able to punish it too hard from underneath. I'd like to see Hot and Cold get under, you know, Ash below that bandit, because of course King Leo, he's going to try to bandit trick it, and that very well could be stopping it because it's only a Habana. Habanas are super easy to bandit trick. They're going to be challenging it with Pojo on that Blackbeard. Not a bad decision overall, as King Leo has now moved back. He's going to be into sandwich, so they should now realize, hey, guess what, it's a free wall. That yes, they are going to go ahead and get it right open. This is exactly what they need to be doing. Ooh, a little bit of a tag there.
Yeah, definitely an interesting choice using the Blackbeard on that position. Usually you see him on the window, kind of behind where King Leo is, or behind on the AC unit. But Pojo seems to know what he's doing here. He survived this long. There's C4, though, from Thinking Nate that could be a big problem for him if he's able to get it out there. Mint just storming in there.
Yes, indeed. So it's going to leave it a 5-on-2 in favor of FlipSid. Honestly, FlipSid poised to go up early as Mint picks up another one, leaving it all in the hands of Fox. Not really going to much that he can do, unfortunately. He's caught reloading as Hot and Cold is just going to push down the hallway and clear him out. Gotta say, FlipSid is looking very dominant, both in their gunplay and their strategy.
Definitely working it so far. Again, switching things up was probably the smart thing to do, and it worked out. They're known for having a lot of different pocket strats, a lot of strats all together, and being able to switch those up on the fly, they clearly can do, taking full advantage of that. And then also, they're just seeming like they're struggling a little bit in terms of getting the synergy there with Fox and having their strategies all together, and having to shift those mid-round once they find out the attack's coming from a different side makes it all the much worse. FlipSid actually going to be going that customs we were talking about earlier now. So we'll see how that hold works out for this. Hopefully Most Wanted have practiced attacking it, since they did have to play Continuum on border, which was unfortunately a mistake for them.
Yeah, you know, I can't help but think that in the back of Most Wanted's minds, they got to be thinking, okay, listen, this is something that very well could be a possibility. You know, obviously, you know, with the sub, you know, just kind of fill them in. All right, listen, this is basically what we want to do. This is the idea. However, they obviously really need to be practicing it a little bit more, you know, as it becomes more and more into the meta. So, you know, FlipSide is going to be bringing that castle, definitely a critical part of it, bringing that mirror, bringing that Ella, all super, super important parts of it. But the question is, you know, how is Most Wanted's plan to attack this? You know, there's really kind of two dominant methods that I've seen. Well, three, I guess. So the first one is you can just kind of go ahead right on and try and take security. I'm not personally a big fan of that with all the trap operators, with the Ellas, with the mirror. It's just, it is so difficult to try and just go and, you know, push straight in. Another way is actually going through office side. You know, go second floor into offices, take control, maybe open up the mirror with a Twitch drone if you can get it, and then push across, take over armory, and force them to drop down. The only problem with that is it does take a lot of time, especially if they put a roamer over there just to kind of kill some drones. That can be a real problem for them. We will be seeing them do that option. Looks like Chow is going to go and hop right on into that east side of second floor. Definitely like what they're doing. Stopped by a castle. Oh no! Looks like that's going to be Pojo. He's going to be downed but not out. Min's actually going to be able to trade it back and punish an overaggression by thinking nade. Meanwhile, Chow's going to go and open up that castle. Mint's head almost got taken off as well by Trippin. Trippin's finally going to clean it up as King Leo finds a kill of his own onto Hot and Cold. And finally, Most Wanted looks like they have some ground in this game in a 4-on-3. Who knows? Jarvis is still sitting inside a break room. He's still, if he's not droned out, can do a lot of damage. I'm not sure if King Leo knows exactly where he's at. Fox is, I believe his drone just saw him. No, he didn't. No, he did not see him. His drone finally just got taken out. No, he did. Fox is going to go ahead and punish Jarvis for sitting in that corner. Brings it to a 4-on-2. All right, as I say, it's going to be a 4-on-1 as Trippin is going to down Adam. It's going to be all up to the hands of Mint. Not saying that he can't do this, but this is looking highly unlikely as King Leo is going to challenge, likely from the hatch, as Fox is going to help drone. That's going to be King Leo finishing out the round.
Yeah, that was definitely a situation where Most Wanted actually got the man advantage early enough to make it work. They got some angles that it didn't seem like FlipSid was completely prepared for. You saw the Ash pushing, for example, and get a nice shot from a long angle across and get it down. Not quite a kill, but still a down early on. And that was a much more aggressive attack than they'd been able to do previously. And I think that paid off because catching people out of position like that or at angles they weren't expecting, once they had that edge, they kind of drove it in like a wedge and were able to actually get man count ahead. And then you saw the defense just kind of fall apart as they weren't able to hold all the angles they needed to. And that is the problem with defending that side, is you do need to hold a lot of different angles to hold break room success, or not break room, but CCTV successfully. And once they started losing that control and having to fall back, you saw what happened to Mint there at the end. It was unfortunate, but it was a good try. I expect we might see customs again, depending on how many rounds this goes to, but I imagine they'll play it out differently. But Most Wanted going to go with more traditional events here.
You know, I'm going to have to disagree with you there. Personally, in this sort of situation, in CCS, I don't think it's really worth trying to fix a broken strat on a map like Border, just because there's just so many different sites that you can go to that they just don't need to be forced into a sort of customs hold. They should very well, you know, have a workshop and events to just kind of fall back on to, like, all right, listen, guys, we tried it once. Yeah, we kind of got caught out, but it was just such a devastating round. Like, okay, if they won it by, or if they lost it, excuse me, by like one person or like one missed gunfight or just like one unlucky timing, then sure, you know, go on back there. However, that was such a slap for Most Wanted. They should know that Most Wanted obviously had a plan for that. They had the drones there and they were actually supporting each other very well and efficiently. I gotta say, it's just probably not worth it at that point. They can stick to some of the other sites. If this was a map like Clubhouse, I'd be totally with you there and saying, you know, hey, listen, there's only 2 sites, guys. You got to figure it out or you're going to lose. But thankfully, this is a map like Border. They have those options.
I definitely think Vents is a site that it has multiple ways to defend it, but I think there's one right way, which is generally to put 3 up top, 2 on site, or even 1 on site if you're able to hold the top floor and rotate back quickly. But it looks like Hot and Cold actually going to push in fairly aggressively. If he's able to get this moving here and get pressure onto the site quickly, they could really actually be punished for having the 3 up top. But they're smart and rotate back, and so you see this is the strategy that works on defense. As long as they don't get out of position and get shot early on, I think they could hold this.
Yeah, so this is a strategy that we very commonly see from a lot of teams. Honestly, every single team has really been, you know, opening up this supply wall. Surprise that is actually not reinforced. Very common to see that being reinforced off. Meanwhile, we're going to have Adam on the other side trying to apply a lot of other back pressure. There is a little bit of pressure coming from FlipSid on the upstairs, just enough to kind of keep him there. You don't want everyone to just drop into site. You want to try and, you know, pick them off one by one. So as I was saying, oh, look at that. Hot and Cold is actually going to take the head off of Trip, and that is so important to get that lead off kill. Remember, like 90% of the rounds that, you know, if you get that lead off kill, you're probably going to win it about 90% of the time. That's where I was going with that one. A little bit of a hop out there. I think that was actually from sandwich window down into vents, I believe. Very well could have been something else. However, Most Wanted is still definitely in this, even though they are down. You know, Thinking Nate is kind of low. Chala is still back in sight. He no longer has any mines, any concussion mines left. He's getting spotted out. And Jarvis is going to collapse on him. The rest of the guys like Mint is also, and Adam is going to be pushing in. A little bit of pressure from above is not going to be enough as Jarvis and Adam both find a kill of their own on Chala and King Leo respectively. Going to be up to Thinking Nate. He's going to be able to down one. However, he's not going to see the person coming over to his left. That's going to be Mint with the diffuser. Is going to drop him. Going to get the diffuse down while Adam is going to be able to clean out Fox 8 coming up from the Archives hatch.
That simply came down to Most Wanted losing every single angle they were trying to contest. You saw fight after fight where they could have won it had they played the angle better, but it just, FlipSid was on top of the shots. You could see they're kind of playing with like good aggressive peaks. They're actually like on top of their aim and managing to land these shots. Not to mention they're actually moving pretty fast and aggressive when they kind of have some idea which way they're going. And you saw some droning going out for that as well to help with that. And the drones not even being able to be hit by Chala definitely didn't help as well. So once they had that pressure going, they just kept pushing like a spearhead and were able to get a lot of angle kills, especially on the people that were on the top floor, rendering people like Fox A upstairs just completely ineffective, made it so taking site was just down to murdering everyone, not even necessarily needing to get the plant down.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, when I believe it was Hot and Cold, when he was sitting inside of Supply, we did see 2 players from Most Wanted so close to that server door. I honestly thought we were going to see a double peek, and I would have loved to have seen a little bit of aggression there, because I knew that Hot and Cold was sitting in there. He had just bashed open the wall. He was holding an angle. He brought Thinking Nate down below half HP, so he knows he's sitting there. They know that that's such a critical angle. I would have liked to have seen a double peek because you had one really close to the door and then the other one on that vents wall. If they would have done a double peek, and then at least trade it, or even just, you know, jiggle peek one, take the attention of Hot and Cold, and then the other one peek from the other side of the doorway, that would have been huge. That would have been kind of the pick that they needed to, you know, bring it to an equalizer. But we just didn't quite see that. They weren't really, you know, confident enough to try and pull something off. Maybe even they need to bring a Valkyrie cam, you know, put a Valkyrie up in there and be like, hey, listen, we know he's there. We need to see for him. We need to try and go around to the front door even. Go front door and into the
situation where they didn't seem prepared though for that particular type of attack coming out from them. And I think that's where FlipSid's really excelling, is playing these unconventional attacks, but also knowing how to play the angles on them and taking advantage of people just out of position every time. I mean, I guess maybe they could have actually gone for a C4 to try and, if they had one left, to maybe see if they could catch Hot and Cold out. But even then, he might have been able to peek at just the right time because he had a good set of aggressiveness there going for him. It's just, Most Wanted seem to be losing these fights when they just can't seem to figure out where the attack's going to come from.
Yeah, exactly. With that, we will be going into match point. It is 4-1 in favor of FlipSid. I gotta say, I did not exactly see this coming. Last time we saw this sort of attack for Most Wanted, we did see Thinking Nate actually go underneath. Hot and Cold's gonna be able to pick off Trippin', so that's gonna be Ash. That is a minute into the round. That is actually fairly early, and I believe, is that the diffuser as well? That is going to be the diffuser. So that's the diffuser down in main lobby. I'm not exactly sure. Did Hot and Cold realize that he dropped the diffuser? He got the diffuser down. He is going to be sitting inside of customs. He's going to be trying to hold this angle as long as possible, waste a bunch of time, and that is exactly what he's doing. It is halfway through the round, thinking Nate's not bucking yet. Shala just now grabbed the diffuser. Foxy is also going to back off, and they know that he's still down there, so thinking Nate's got to be worried that, guess what, he can't buck. Oh, and by the way, did I even mention Jarvis? Jarvis on Pulse is also down there, thinking Nate, he's going to be picked off immediately. He starts bucking, he's going to get down. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
They're definitely countering the standard attack. Most Wanted seeming to use a similar attack that they did before, and they just completely read into it on F3, having people downstairs that could play it right. Hot and Cold been a good aggressive player, playing nice angles down there as well, just making it really hard for them to do what they need to do, and they know it.
I like
Adam,
the swap
though,
up
gonna
from
be caught
King
out.
Leo. Yeah, so I like that swap up from King Leo, able to bring that Thermite to open up the entire wall. That's going to leave Adam out of position, and finally, Most Wanted is able to get a kill in this round, but 45 seconds left. I'm not exactly sure if they have a whole lot of time. Not a whole lot of fragging operators or utility left on the attacking team either. They've got Chala, but that's it. I mean, no, they do have 3 EMPs, so, they could potentially prevent, a pulse scanner from underneath, but that's another thing. You got to remember that pulse underneath is going to be calling out everything. Hot and Cold, Mint, everyone just needs to just wait it out. You still got Pojo inside of CC on that mirror, so if he tries to push into this hallway, Fox is not going to find any real success. He's going to have to go into Fountain, but he's really not going to be able to find anything there either if he pushes across. Looks like King Leo is just going to YOLO it right on through. He's going to be able to pick off one before immediately getting picked. It is just a trade duel right now as Mint's able to grab one. Chala immediately kills Mint. Meanwhile, Pojo is going to push all the way across, pick up Chala in a 1-on-2 situation. Pojo is going to finish it up with a double. That's going to be your map number 1 going at the hands of FlipSid.
They definitely were able to rotate back up the site when they need to. You saw Hot and Cold get up as soon as the man count started working towards Most Want to be able to do something there. And they just seem so comfortable on this map, like in just every way. Like, I know Most Wanted like this map as well, but it feels like FlipSid have been playing this for a long time with the comfortable rotates, the ability to take map control even as defending roamers, and be able to play a lot of different angles upstairs and downstairs. They're definitely not limited to just playing the typical armory site and knowing how to play that. Just the flexibility absolutely gave them the lead there. And winning at 5-1 was not a surprise watching how they were playing it.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're Reckless going into relegations, and obviously they're watching this, they just have to be watching this sort of, game. I would be very, very worried. Don't take them to any map that allows all that flexibility. Try and stay to some of those more stricter maps like Clubhouse per se, Clubhouse, or even, try to bring them on a map that they might not know as well. Maybe force out a Chalet. Who knows? But I got to say, I would definitely be worried if I was them. There's a lot of work for them to do to try and make something happen against FlipSid.
Now, Oregon's a map that they are quite good at, but they also have shown a lot from playing it in Pro League. FlipSid, again, are a team that has a lot of different flexible strats. So this may be a situation where if FlipSid were paying attention to what Most Wanted did, and Most Wanted don't have a lot of new stuff, not to mention having a sub player in, this again, yeah, could be an F3 sided map, and we could see this go to a 2-0 if Most Wanted can't seem to adapt. I feel like communication could be their big struggle, and it could be situations saying where they're just not able to really like figure out how to adapt like mid-round with that communication to be able to adjust to the attacks. I think they're just also not establishing good map control. I think that's a big problem with them.
Yeah, we saw Most Wanted the round that they did win. They did a fantastic job. They droned in. All right, listen, they've got a castle on that archives door. We can just break it open and then just hop right in and gain that control. And that is why they won that round. Unfortunately, they were not able to replicate that success on any other round. We're going to see if we can get these two teams ready. Hopefully, we'll maybe even skip the break.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to go for a short break so to give them a chance, but I'm not sure. Maybe give them a little bio.
Yeah, maybe like 1 or 2 minutes, guys. So we'll be right back. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you when we get. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 of the night. Most Wanted versus FlipSid. Just in case you missed it, FlipSid was actually able to take map number 1 on Border 5-1 in a stunning fashion. We went over a lot of FlipSid's wins have really kind of come down to their flexibility. Emzo, what are you kind of expecting on Oregon?
I really think it depends on whether or not Most Wanted were able to kind of take that break to get their selves together, collect themselves, because it seemed like they were getting a little frantic, especially towards the end. They're definitely struggling a bit with trying to actually kind of solidify themselves in any particular place here. This is a map they're pretty comfortable on, though. And I think because this isn't a big square map the way Border is, if they're able to play it a little bit smarter, I think they could establish more map control. And I don't think we're going to see a 5-1 again, but I do think there's a good chance we could see this still leaning towards FlipSid.
Yeah, I completely agree here. We are going to go ahead and get into map number 2. It is going to be on Oregon. So I got to say, flip side, we've seen them play. And this is another map, just like Border. Almost every site is kind of viable. The reason why I say kind of is that the Brazilians haven't really found too much success trying to make a tower hold work. However, I have
Except for
personally
Zig.
seen, I have personally seen Flipside actually play on that tower side before. We'll see if they decide to, try and pull it out, try and play something a little cheeky. But right now, they're going to stick to something they know, and that's going to be kids' dorms and dorms main.
I would love to see one of these teams try and pull out Kitchen as well. I remember when Fox A was telling me a long time ago they had some really great strats supposedly on the team he was on at the time for Kitchen. We never really completely saw that materialize, so I'm hoping that there's a great idea in there that we just haven't seen yet. But as you said, it's probably unlikely. Flip side, probably more likely to be the one to bring out something different, like a tower hold, catch them off guard. They are setting up very quickly, though. That tells me they are definitely playing to a strat, or at least playing to something they're comfortable doing, whether it be the meta or whatnot, but they are definitely setting up like ASAP with exactly what they need to do. You see a smooth, well-oiled machine here. Hopefully Most Wanted feeling that same smooth, well-oiledness with Fox in here when it comes to their turn to defend.
Yeah, exactly. So we will be seeing both the mirrors are going to be placed upstairs. One of them is going to get opened by King Leo. That is actually pretty important. That's honestly the more important mirror. That's going to be the one facing that small dorms from that white spot. That was actually also reinforced. So that is actually pretty big. A really great job. Great timing from King Leo. Able to really pull that off. And a fantastic start for Most Wanted getting into map number 2.
Yeah, I'm curious if they knew this was going to be the side or not. I almost would expect Thinking Day to be on his buck again, but he's going to be on Sledge this time, so hopefully he's able to use that effectively, regardless of how they were planning on attacking it. At least Trippin trying to make some progress in. I like that little pixel peek angle into the meeting hall there, trying to get some damage down, but Pojo Man's going to be holding down pretty tight. They're going to definitely use a bit of a split defense here, not all just clustered up top, but Pojo Man setting up that rotate hole. If they spot it on drone, they're going to know what he's trying to do, so Mint's going to have to be the one to back him up on that.
Yeah, exactly. Now, one thing is that we will be seeing that kitchen hold, but there are no mirrors. Very, very commonly, you will be seeing mirrors on that kitchen hold to try and help prevent a sort of dining push, but that is not what we're seeing. A lot of Most Wanted, they're all stacked over towards like a master side taken. Right as I say that, King Leo is going to start this game off, taking out Hot and Cold's head off. That's going to be the Ella. That's, that's the deny on the plant. They have a C4. Well, they have two C4s, one on Mirror, one on Valkyrie. But again, with no pulse, it's going to be really difficult to try and find him, especially when you have Trippin underneath. We very well could also be seeing a late flank as Thinking They goes to generator window, is able to find the body of Jarvis. Could we be seeing a very nade kill? There is no Jaeger in position. That is going to be a nade kill onto Adam. Most Wanted. They're looking so good. Pojo's finally going to find a kill, and that's going to be onto Trippin underneath. Pojo's going to go ahead and take Jarvis's spot, or excuse me, Adam's spot, as it's going to be hard to do. Pojo is going to be the saving grace here. He takes out Thinking Nade as he tries to hop in a generator window. That's not exactly what he wants, but Fox gets really close. He's going to finish him out. It's going to be leaving it all up to about a 1 HP Mint. They know where he's at. They're going to get the diffuser down. All they got to do is just kind of hold angles. Nothing much that he can really do. He's waiting for a peek. They're not going to give it to him. He's going to push out, and his head's going to immediately get cut clean off.
So definitely looking a lot more comfortable on this map than they were on the previous one. That's a good start for them, and that might shake F3 a little bit, as they seemed pretty confident. The call out for the nice nade. They did see he was there. Mint actually gave himself away a little bit with his foot sticking out, and the nice thing is he probably didn't know he did that, giving them a lot of great intel on knowing that someone was playing the top of white stairs right there, and knowing that he's got to be playing low because that mirror window being opened left them a good opportunity to try and get that kill. And he knows how to cook those grenades. Definitely played it right. Playing a lot of buck definitely helps with that.
And it's in his name, right? So he's got to be good, or else just take it out of your name. It's not even worth it. But honestly, that round I feel like just came down to FlipSid being way too aggressive. They're getting picked off. We saw that Ella got picked off in kids, and then we saw the Valkyrie got he pushed up into small to try and get a C4. What? Like, come on, you really should be kind of expecting someone at a generator window at that point in the round, based off of what control that they already had. I'm just kind of disappointed that round went the way that is. Maybe they're, just feeling really confident coming off of map 1. So they're definitely going to have to kind of dial it back in coming into map number 2, or else guess what? Most wanted, they have the gunplay, they have the skills, and honestly, based off of that round, they also have the teamwork to try and make something happen.
But it'll be interesting to see if Fox can redeem the dream on that Echo, though. That's definitely going to be a big question mark for this defense, as that was usually pretty critical to defending here. So if he can't play it the way Redeemer was able to, then it's definitely going to be hard to hold this. So we'll see if they can actually play it smart. Maybe they'll go for a little bit more of a roam play to try and keep it going here, but hard to say.
Yeah, exactly. We have been seeing, that meeting has just been really, really strong now. Trippin's actually setting up a mirror as well facing kitchen. This is a setup that has been, gaining a lot of popularity. We've seen many, many different iterations on the meeting hold, but, having that mirror facing kitchen with a half wall and a rotation hole has actually been, proven to be very, very effective. Basically stops anyone. If you can actually open it up, then that really weakens this entire shot. But this is something unusual, is actually going to be a mirror put onto stage. This is something you don't really see.
Yeah, this is part of their strategy where they can kind of put the mirror either on this stage right here or put it on the pantry wall, depending on how they want to defend it, as well as the wall that is facing into the lobby. But Mint, with a nice grenade kill there, deciding to kind of punish them for what Nade did last round.
That is very, honestly, I really wish that Thinking Nade was going to be the receiver of that one, but unfortunately it was going to be Trippin. So that is, playing a little bit too aggressive on that mirror is not going to really pay off. Did Adam just run into that? I think he did. I think he got himself a little bit blind there. So he's going to try and, yeah, exactly. So he's going to try and take an aim duel with someone right below him. That's going to be Chala. He's going to shotgun him just on the way out. So it's not really going to make too big of a difference. He's going to be able to get him back up. Fox is low. He's going to get reset as well. And it looks like FlipSid, they have the numbers, they have the HP advantage, and it looks like they're going to be starting to get the map control. We now have 3 players for Most Wanted downstairs. They're going to need something late coming in from the flank. I'm thinking, maybe like it's going to be King Leo is actually going to be on the LS. She's going to be just hiding, chilling, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, Fox getting that drone out a little bit late. The Yokai hopefully knows what he's doing with it, because they're going to need to deny a possible plant here if Hot and Cold can make some progress down there. Adam, though, does have the diffuser, and not sure which way he's going to go, but it looks like they are going to go for a construction site plant. He's just got to drop down, but see if he's going to drop down anywhere with that diffuser. Nope. Going to play the stairs instead and hope Hot and Cold can get some progress for him. It sure does, right under Fox's face. That means no echo deny.
That was a really good shot, I gotta say. Great job from Hot and Cold, able to find that pick. And again, like you said, no more echo. That is going to be super critical. They do still have Chala on smoke. That's going to be important. King Leo also needs to start thinking about a flank right about now, as Poja is going to find one with a shotgun onto Thinking Nade. Chala is going to do damage a little bit of one. He's going to immediately get pushed. That's going to be by Mint. So he's going to get down. However, the smoke is out. Not going to be able to finish. No, he will be able to finish him off. That's going to be Adam on the plant. So that's going to be Mint. He's going to be forced to get immediately right back on it. However, the coverage and the numbers advantage is going to be too much as Pojo and Mint clean off this round. FlipSid brings it back 1-1.
Always a big fan of the pinch attack there. I liked how heavy they pushed from the construction side. It definitely worked out pretty well. And they didn't play it too overly aggressive. They made sure to clear the floors above, get good control, started to take control down with Hot and Cold, pushing towards the construction side. Getting that kill into Echo definitely helped early. You see him forcing those tight angles out by opening up little holes in the walls and knowing exactly where people are. I could tell they definitely got the communication down, have some idea where people are playing at, because they're actually confidently looking at where people are when they go to make their picks instead of just hoping that they see them. So it's definitely paying off, and that was a much better round for them than the previous round on defense. But that does mean that they can play downstairs again and make their adjustments to the defense.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like we will be seeing another kids hold from FlipSid. They want to try to make it work, and I honestly do believe in them. They can make it happen. But, honestly, one thing I do want to, kind of mention is that Pojo was actually sitting inside a garage that last round, and he had a shotgun, little did I know. That's going to be a hard angle. I mean, he was obviously, the one doing a lot of droning, but that person in garage is usually set up there to try and cover rotates coming out of kitchen. So the fact that, he was trying to do it with a shotgun, I got to say, great job from him. Able to, sneak down those front stairs later in the round, able to pick up a kill. Actually, he got 2 kills, plus using all that utility and Ying, forcing them to kind of split directions. Not sure if they actually ended up getting the mirror inside of closet. Not exactly sure. However, we will be going, like I said, same exact mirror setup, same setup. It looks like for kids. Actually, wait a second. What is their reinforcements looking like on the master wall? Looks like it's only been half reinforced.
Yeah, I don't know
Maybe
if
Jarvis
this
is
is
just
just
gonna get to it.
unfinished
Yeah.
or what.
Yeah, he's gonna get to it late. That was I was really kind of worried for them there. I was like, wait a sec, did miscommunication? You know, did someone reinforce that when they shouldn't have? No, it's probably just Jarvis. He's probably just putting a cam inside of Master, and then he just decided to reinforce the one half of it, but then get back to site. Get ready to go. Now this is thinking Nate. He already found the cam.
Oh.
Nice low cam. That's gonna be spotted out by that drone. Well, I gotta say, sorry, Jarvis, but your cam has been spotted. It has been found.
I like the aggressive play though.
Yeah, exactly. They had those perfect drones. They pre-droned everything. They were able to just get right in. They got the business done. Great job. So that's gonna be thinking he's gonna be sitting inside Armory, hold that long angle hallway. Last time this is exactly the exact same thing we saw MW do. They just went for those picks and they ended up getting them. So the question is, will FlipSid give them those picks this time because they're pushing from the same side? Are they going to peek them, or are they going to potentially go for a late flank?
King Leo did get that window open again like he did last time, but much later into the round this time, it seems. So we'll see if that makes a difference in how they're able to put this pressure on here. Last time they were able to do a pretty good attack on this site, but now it seems like they're slowed down quite a bit. Minute and a half already in, and Mint could peek him here. Unfortunately for him, King Leo was on top of his coverage.
Yeah, great job. I mean, honestly, a lot of these guys in MW, when they're pre-aiming an angle, they've been hitting him very, very well. Ooh, hot and cold. He's playing with fire here. That's going to be an ACOG against basically a hollow or a one-time site, so that's not an angle you want to hold. Here comes Thinking Nade with a nade again. That's just going to barely tag Adam. He says, no, not today, Thinking Nade. You are not going to get a nade. That's going to allow King Leo to actually pick up a kill onto Adam as he swings around into Dorm's main. He's going to expose himself just a little bit too much. There's drones all over hot and cold. They know that he's the only one up here and that it is a 1-2 split. Actually, no, excuse me. Pojo has now rotated up to white stairs as King Leo baits out one of the Ella charges. Thinking Nate, oh, this is so smart. Having someone come off and onto these kids' windows is going to be huge as Trippin is able to pick off both Jarvis and Pojo. That's me thinking Nate closing out the round by picking hot and cold from these kids' windows. I was about to say, Most Wanted is doing a great job. They're splitting up their attacks. They're attacking from different angles. Not all the defenders are just watching the same thing. I'm really kind of impressed with what we're seeing out of Most Wanted now.
They definitely seem a lot more comfortable moving around on this map the way FlipSid did on Border. You saw that rotate, for example, from Thinking Nade, using those grenades to clear out that spot. Whether or not they got a kill, it's definitely a way to clear out that corner that they have issues with, not to mention that getting the window open thanks to King Leo makes it so they can't play in that spot and starts to push them out into the hallway, force them towards the A window, or force them into the B site, where Thinking Nade then rotated to be able to get the pinch on his own move that he basically made. And that's the way to do it. Like the coordination between those. And then also King Leo, for example, recovering when Mint tried to push was perfect in that they made sure they didn't actually shoot his teammate, but he was there to get the kill when all that smoke started coming out. Mint was smart in making that rush. He just didn't know that there was two people there. And unfortunate for him, that didn't pay off. Otherwise, it could have, playing that close to it like that, because the aggressiveness of Thinking Nade, getting in early, getting that the Valkyrie camera off from under the mattress, things like that. They definitely were comfortable in making that attack, and they knew what to do, and they've won it twice now. So I would imagine that if you're F3, you're going to want to go for a different bomb site next time.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of a different bomb site, Most Wanted, they're going to be the first ones to try and swap it up here. They did lose that downstairs basement, but now they're going to be playing upstairs inside of the kids' dorms. So this is them saying, hey, guess what? We know we lost that first round, so guess what? You're going to have to try and play us on a site that they might not be expecting from FlipSid.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to hold it. It's definitely going to be difficult. As you saw, FlipSid has not been able to hold that site, so obviously it is a difficult one for them to play. I'm not sure if FlipSid's attack will be similar, though. But interesting to see that there's a castle coming out from Thinking Nade.
Yeah, we've seen them. He was actually on castle as well downstairs. So I don't know if it was a late pick or if it's actually part of the strategy, whether or not that, Thinking Nade is going to be holding it. Now, look at this. Look at this. This is something you don't normally see. It's going to be Thinking Nade and Trippin actually playing super aggressive. I mean, hyper aggressive over in this west side of the map. There's actually 3 of them over there. I think that's King Leo as well. They've kind of given up meeting and just saying, okay, guess what? We're going to play out of the site. Normally you're not going to see him play all the way out especially when you're playing a castle, you're going to see them kind of hunkered down. But FlipSid, very, very slow on this attack. They need to, they're coming from big tower, and I get that, but they need to start speeding it up. Already got 1:10. They are now on those kids' windows. As they say speed up, well, they are speeding up. They're just somewhere else we weren't looking. So they're now on those kids' windows. We're going to have to see, are they going to be able to get a flank? Is MW going to be able to counter this? There is no pulse, but they do have a C4 underneath. They do have that shotgun on Mira, so they very well could be attacking those window repellers from below.
Yeah, it seemed like the roamers were able to dodge the drones pretty effectively. You saw King Leo go right past one, and I think that's going to bite them in the butt here if they're not prepared to fight those roamers coming up late. But the site itself is under a lot of pressure, but not any actual progress, I would say, from FlipSid. So this is working out pretty well in Most Wanted's favor, as long as they can hold this a little bit longer, give a chance for the roamers to get behind people, assuming that Adam is able to hunt them down.
Yeah, and you got to realize that there's a lot of nade-heavy operators here, both a sledge and a buck. Adam's going to start off this round over 2 minutes, and he's going to be upstairs inside of bridge. He's going to be able to take off the head of Trippin as he likely decides to rotate around, try and get those guys off of that kids' windows repel by going into tower. There comes out those nades we were talking about from those guys on repel. Chala, that was a shot and a half. That's going to be caught and hold. That's going off. That's going to force Chala all the way back to white stairs, but he's going to escape ultimately with his life. Unfortunately, that's not going to last very long, as Pojo's going to be able to pick it off from the right side of kid's window. 30 seconds remaining. Pojo's got to get in. He knows there's holes in the floor, but he's got to find that opening as Fox is underneath. Looks like Thinking he's looking to do a run out as well. However, he is going to be covered. He's going to be countered if that happens. King Leo made his way into bridge somehow, so he's going to go ahead and punish Adam, pushing alone from the other side. Meanwhile, Ray, as I say that, Thinking he's actually going to be able to pick off Mint. Going to leave it up to Pojo and Jarvis to try to make something happen. Pojo decided, guess what? He's going to go and hop into big window, actually, not kids. That's going to leave Jarvis to help going inside of kids. He's going to hold that cross angle, doing a little bit of a cheeky juggle peek. He will be able to pick off Fox, not with a headshot. Pojo finds a kill of his own, and all of a sudden, a 3-on-2 has turned into a 1-on-2. Thinking Nate, low HP, about 10 health, halfway down on the bomb ticker. They know which way he's going. They have the pre-drone set up. This is just unfortunate for them. Pojo's going to be ready. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and finish it off. Great job from FlipSid. Started off very slow of a round, but they found those openings. Pojo was able to get in. He was able to get the diffuser down, and that was the round.
That was an absolute turnaround there, especially from Pojo, man. Getting in that window and getting that plant down really turned things around, because you saw the pressure switch onto being on Most Wanted, who had a clear advantage there, and then started throwing it away. I mean, the jiggle peeking by Jarvis also helped as well, because he was able to hold that angle, but a little more safely, and managed to land the shots with it, just ripping into him with the FAMAS. So it was definitely a good play turnaround by them. That's roam hunting by Adam at first, but unfortunately getting caught out by King Leo. He was able to rotate around pretty freely, which worked out in his favor. But in the end, it seemed like they were unable to get back to the site for a retake once Pojo Man got in, because they just didn't have enough control of that A window itself, because so much pressure was being put on the B windows as well. Looks like F3 going to go downstairs now, finally realizing top floor's not working out for us. We're going to make a change.
This is super smart, honestly. It really is. They have also decided to bring a castle. I'm pretty sure every single defensive round that we've played has had a castle. Now, that is an interesting... So the camera's kind of deceiving. It looks like Hot and Cold is actually reinforcing up that double door. But, of course, he is inside of bridge. That had me doing a double take there. I was like, wait a second. He's reinforcing a doorway? No, that's just the way that the camera lines up. That's pretty funny. Now, it looks like, actually, Hot and Cold, the way that they're setting up these castles reminds me very much of a CTM setup, where you reinforce every single one of those doorways with the castles. It really does make it a nightmare if you don't have a sledge. But guess what? Thinking is going to be on that sledge. They're going to be ready to counter this sort of hold. So I'm not exactly sure, which way is Most Wanted want to push it. Are they going to push it from behind like they have been doing? Or do they want to, try and swap it up and go around?
Yeah, they're definitely going to be a problem too, especially with Hot and Cold up there. Try to make it a pain for them to get in through the tower side. Then they're going to have to try and push a bit more through the lobby, which is risky to sledge during the lobby without making sure you have good coverage of the armory stairs as well as the kitchen. Hot and Cold going to be a problem for them up there.
Yeah, it looks like we will be seeing actually a front take. Trippin, King Leo, Fox, and Shala are all the... Oh, look at this. The mirror got opened.
Nice strategy.
Oh, no, he wasn't able to do it. So that was Mint. He was trying to deny that hatch. He was unable to. King Leo saw the opportunity and took it. Was able to take out Mint, being a little bit too aggressive. He needed to hit those shots way faster, or just use an impact on that. I was thinking he actually finds a kill of his own. That was a great shot onto Pojo. So that's going to be both the Bandits and the Mirror out of commission. Jarvis still on that pulse, can make something happen as well because they do, of course, have that smoke. It's going to be up to Hot and Cold to try and make something happen. Last time we checked on him, about to say, he was upstairs in tower, so he is now rotated down into bridge with this open hatch. So he's definitely going to be a menace should they want to try and utilize those meeting hatches.
Their aggression has definitely paid off, but not clearing Hot and Cold out here is going to be a big problem for them now because he is the lone off-site player here with Jarvis and Adam hanging out down inside. If they can take out Hot and Cold, then they can definitely collapse pressure on him as long as they don't lose too much manpower doing so. But they know where they're all at. Now, nice play by Jarvis catching everyone upstairs, but can they do anything about it here? Adam at least be on the smoke. If he can call out for Hot and Cold to come around from behind, could make some action happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, Adam just does not realize that the plant is going down, so that's going to be a free plant for Most Wanted. FlipSid's going to have to try and rotate back in. It's not going to happen as both Adam and Hot and Cold both fall to King Leo and Trippin respectively. Gotta say, Jarvis, oh my goodness, King Leo going for, I believe, a knife kill. He's able to pick up one. It finds a second one. It's going to be Fox down and out of the count. This is a 1-on-2. He does not have a C4, but that pulse scanner very well could give him a lot of information. Not sure if he realizes that Chala is there. Maybe he'll, get a cheeky pre-fire and put it onto a 1-on-1. That's exactly what I need to see. Chala has given away his position. Trippin's nowhere to help him. Fortunately, there was no pre-aim there coming from Jarvis. Nice try, I gotta say. That was, I was rooting for you, buddy. You almost had it.
I like the way Chala was just out of Pulse's range there, and that really is what paid off. Yeah, he gave himself away a little bit, but it was already at the point where Jarvis was pretty committed to making that push and didn't have a lot of time left to make any other kind of decisions or rotate around. And so just him playing just out of range of that gave him all the advantage he needed. And definitely tough situation to be in. Not that we haven't seen Jarvis make an amazing clutch before in Pro League as a Pulse player with the intel he has, but in that situation, it was a tough fight because of too many different angles that he couldn't cover himself and the diffuser planted that he had to push on with such a long map. Even if he rotated around the other direction, it was still going to be down to the wire for him to even try and defuse it in time. Tough situation to be in, but I definitely like the way Most Wanted played that. Very smart. Can they go for this basement defense again? Some of that, again, as I said, is going to be up to Fox to actually do his proper job on that Echo drone because of the way they play the site down here, but they're going to go with a more traditional mirror window on the defense for the closet as they are not as confident in the way Chala and Redeemer would play down there.
Yeah, so last time we saw them trying to hold it, unfortunately, Most Wanted kind of got collapsed on super hard. I mean, they got absolutely slapped on this. They have decided to swap it up. They're bringing that mute. I got to say, this is super smart. A team like FlipSid is a very drone-heavy team, in my opinion. They got to try and find those roamers using those drones. They got to try and see, is it clear for them to push in? However, bringing that mute to try and deny some of that very well could prove effective. Now, the question is, where do they put those mutes? Because it looks like FlipSid is going to be starting over by tower. If they're putting all these mutes over on the master side, that's not going to really prove effective. Look at this. They're going like full ham setup. They're going like master side. They got the armory reinforced. They got jammers over there. And guess what? FlipSide's going to notice that. They're going to be like, guys, listen, there's no point in pushing across there. Look, they're even using a mirror upstairs in master. I got to say, this is not really the right call here. They're giving up meeting control. Yeah, sure, they do have a person inside a bridge, but it's really not worth it. It's going to be real tough, I guess, for Most Wanted to try and make something happen here.
Yeah, they gave up tower control very easily in a setup here, but Chala could be a big thorn in their side if he's able to stay alive doing it. I talked about before the way he's able to use those Elo mines to be able to disable the diffuse plants is definitely a big advantage, along with Fox on the Echo drone. So he could stop a plant once they make the pressure here, but if they're coming from the opposite side that they expect, which it looks like they could be, it's definitely going to be a problem. They're going to be clearing out this tower here now that they open that up, thinking he's got to play this really smart if he wants to stay alive. Does see some feet, but can't get them. Hot and Cold wins that battle.
Yeah, so that's going to be the fast-firing gun of that Ash. Definitely able to outshoot that UMP-45 on the castle. That is just a gun battle you just do not want to take. Definitely favors the more accurate player there. Adam's going to go ahead and take control of bridge. Not much that King Leo can honestly do at this point other than to rotate around. Try to find a good use for your C4. That's honestly the best option that he has. Look at all these claymores from FlipSid. They definitely do not want to get rotated on as they start to collapse onto this basement. There's about a minute and 10 seconds remaining. Only Thinking Nate is out of the count. Trippin's kind of getting pressured, it looks like, by a Twitch turn. Those mute jammers are definitely proving a little bit of a headache for Pojo as he goes to try and make something happen. But Mid's going to start it off by getting a nade onto Chala. That's going to be the Ella out. If he had any more mines remaining, that is going to be no longer. There's going to be no more delay for him. Remember, there is no smoke. That's going to be King Leo is taken out.
Oh.
At the same time, Mint's going to take a call as well. But that's okay because Hot and Cold is in there. He takes out Strippin. It's going to be off to Fox with about 2 HP. Tries to make it happen, but will not be able to. Pojo from those front stairs. Mute Jammers, it does not matter. He's going to push down and be able to clean it out no matter what. Great teamwork there from FlipSid, realizing that they did not want to go and push from that master side. There's too much utility there. They push through into tower, and honestly, fantastic round.
It just seems like tower is the big weakness for Most Wanted in terms of that defense, and I think they see that. They know that the way that they've played that defense in Pro League has depended on push from coming from the stairs. Obviously, pushing from the stairs at the end is working quite well once you've already collapsed on the site from the tower side, and time and time again, it's succeeding. They need to make the adjustment if they're going to be playing that defense again, or I expect F3 is just going to take it every single time, winning all those fights down on that side. So a situation where if they can make the adjustments or be able to continue to succeed upstairs, maybe it'll work. But this is at 3-3 now. Next point is going to be match point, which if either of these teams gets 2 in a row, that's the end of that map. And if it's FlipSid, they go home the winner for the day.
Yeah, exactly. You got to remember, both of these teams are undefeated here in CCS. One of these guys is coming out still undefeated. The other one is going to take their first loss. Remember, you got FlipSid is up 1 map to nothing. The third map, should it go there, is going to be Clubhouse. But I got a feeling that FlipSid doesn't really want to let that happen. So they're going to try and do everything in their power to try and stay in this game and try to make it a 2-0. Currently tied up at 3-3, still anyone's game. FlipSid once again upstairs in kids' dorms. Same setup with the double mirrors, 1 on small, 1 on kids. They're not really deciding to swap anything up. They don't want to put anything down in kitchen. Most Wanted, we've seen them done it twice before, have pushed in from the master and armory side. So you got to realize this FlipSid, they know what's going to happen. They should know what's going to happen. Mint is setting up in position. How else do you think that they should counter this?
I mean, it's definitely been the site that's worked the best for them in terms of FlipSid. So it's just a question of whether or not they can read into how that attack worked last time. For example, stop the push onto the hallway side into armory. If they can counter that a little bit better, which Thinking Nade's pushing towards already, and slow that down, make it so that they can't get armory control as soon, or maybe even have someone able to play on the stairs down there so they get trapped in the armory, could be a big problem for them, as there's no other escape besides out the window. But it doesn't seem like they're doing that. They're giving him still that control. But they're also forcing him to slow down here. Hot Cold, unfortunately, gives away a bit much of his body and trying to make that peak.
Alrighty, like you said, 1 minute and 10 seconds into the round. Most Wanted doing the exact same thing. They have armory, they have master. They're starting to Habana into the small or master wall, whichever you prefer. They're going to start to collapse on these guys. It's going to be up to Jarvis on that pulse. It's going to be up to Mint on the flank to try and, really find an edge. We do have Fox over by the tower and trying to drone out, see if he can get in from behind, try to make something happen over there. Like I said, applying that back pressure. Look at Jarvis. He's all the way down in basement. Mint is also kind of poised there to kind of help him out. So they're kind of duo buddy roaming. As I say that, Pojo is able to take down Strippin. That's not very good. That's going to be your entry fragger out of position and out of the round.
It's interesting the way they play the mirror on the roam on this particular defense, as they have both times. It has been somewhat effective, but if he gets caught off guard, then it is definitely a big loss in losing that C4. Speaking of explosion.
Ooh, Thinking he's able to pick off Adam, no longer needing those nades. We've seen him twice before, just using his nades, trying to make something happen. This time he throws one of his nades, doesn't connect, but he's able to connect with his bullets, and that's where it really matters. So I need to be seeing Fox go underneath. He's not going to be covering from under there, because remember, we still have Jarvis on that pulse. We still have Mint. He's now at the top of white stairs, so honestly, they've really missed their window of opportunity. Unless Thinking Nade's able to try and get inside of kids, that would be absolutely huge. Chala is going to go for the plant up close next to this reinforcement. There's not much they can do except for unless Jarvis goes from underneath. No, but he's actually able, in big tower, is able to pick up one. Chala is able to pick up Mint as well, as Hot and Cold pushes out and across is able to pick up Chala. Leaves it a 1-on-3 as King Leo is down. That's going to be a quick cleanup, actually, of King Leo. Fox still can make it happen from underneath. He is so far away from this diffuser. If they realize it, they can try to make it happen. Yes, he will try to be able to. Jarvis is able to get the great coverage, taking out Fox, while believe this. Yes, Hot and Cold is able to get the defuse. I gotta say, guys, great job from from FlipSid, excuse me. This means that guess what? We're on match point now. You know, it's anyone's game, but FlipSid is definitely poised to take this.
Interesting the way that Jarvis was playing that pulse all the way downstairs and able to rotate back up towards the end, because we're seeing these teams just slacking on when it comes to someone playing far off site, not going and getting them like we saw Hot and Cold before on his castle playing off site. It's just working out well for these teams when they can get someone just be that kind of last minute play there. But also it was a case of, I think, Hot and Cold playing good on that Ella, getting some good picks and playing good defense, not getting taken out by Thinking Nate, because he did almost get picked. Thinking Nate had a nice angle on him, but just wasn't ready to take the shots that fast. Had he been able to take him down, I think that actually would have worked out in Most Wanted's favor. I don't want to blame Thinking Nate because he was doing a great job getting kills and getting in position. It was just one of those moments where had he been able to get that shot, I think it would have changed the complete course of that round. But as it stands now, it's match point, and there's a good chance that this could be the last round played tonight by Most Wanted if they can't get this defense together and learn how to stop a tower push.
Yeah, and you said it, but I just want to echo it. You know, honestly, that kill on the Thinking Nate was really kind of what won them that round. You know, if he got picked off and the Thinking Nate got into kids, that would have been it. But if it obviously it did go the other way, Thinking Nate got killed, they held control of kids. He was able to push across and get a double kill. You know, fantastic job from him. Honestly, really did a great job. Unfortunately, I would have actually liked to have seen Most Wanted actually kind of just plant the defuse with Chala, have Chala just lay down. You know, don't peek, don't try to get aggressive, and then just cover the angles from like afar, because they got the diffuser down. You can just sit inside of generator window basically forever. Like, you can go to the top of the tower and you can cover a plant. I mean, it's kind of like a similar situation to kind of like a cafe skylight. I think that would have really been really interesting to see. But like you said, we are on to match point. It's going to be Most Wanted. They realize what sort of attack the FlipSides like to go for, and this is no exception.
Yeah, they're definitely defending the tower a lot more this time, and I think this will work if they can get the shots.
Yeah, it's going to be up to Fox. Try to make something happen or delay a lot of time. Adam has now gone all the way up. He's repelled up. A missed C4 from Fox, but look at this rotate. This is super smart. No, he's actually going to go for kills. Jarvis is able to punish that from above. I gotta say, I would have much rather have seen him just go and hop into that door, maybe escape into meeting, because dude, that's only a minute. They were able to delay for 1 minute. In the grand scheme of things, that is not gonna really be enough to stop FlipSid. If he'd actually saved his life, that might have been a different story. You know, maybe they would have actually been able to hold it for a little bit longer, but there you go. That's going to be Mint as actually going to be down. So that's going to be the sledge. I'm not sure how many more nades he's got left as Hot and Cold is still outside. He's going to prevent King Leo from really trying to punish this and get up even closer. So Mint, definitely the possibility that he gets picked up. He will get picked up as he has a castle to protect him. Kind of worked both ways at that point. Hot and Cold's able to finally pick off King Leo, and it's a 5-on-3 on match point. If you're Most Wanted, you really have to try and make something happen, and that's going to be all up to Thinking Nate. He's the guy on the flank.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a tough situation because they weren't able to kill anyone. Mint the only one, even at half health. This is a bad situation, but I think they did a much better job trying to defend where they needed to defend, but they couldn't follow it up with actual kills, and that's exactly what you need to do. Otherwise, you've just burned time at best and lost two very important defenders in the process that were going to be there to stall the plan. I'm thinking, or Chala is still going to be there. Oh, what is this?
Thinking Nate. He almost missed it. He almost missed it. He gets a knife onto Pojo. He hears that drone from above. This is exactly what he needed to do. However, he's kind of done. He's absolutely done. He's got his one kill, but guess what? It's still a 4-on-3. There's still a numbers advantage for FlipSid. I'd like to see Thinking Nate go back upstairs and actually push in and try to apply some more back pressure from meeting. You know, keep looking at, oh no, that's gonna be Hot and Cold is gonna start things off on this execute, taking down Trip and leaves just Chala on site. Thinking Nate should be help him out. No, that's going to be Mint dropping down. He's going to be able to pick up one. It leaves it all up to Thinking Nate as he is going to clean Mint off. He's taking a lot of damage. Once again, it's just Thinking Nate. Seems like we're in this situation quite a bit. Thinking Nate low HP, trying to clutch it out against FlipSid on a 1-on-3. The diffuser has not got down. I gotta say, odds are not looking in his favor at all. He's gonna get blinded on top of that. Hot and Cold's gonna push all the way around. He's gonna finish out this game and this series. GG's to FlipSid and Most Wanted. They both played very, very well.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Most Wanted had a lot more to show on Oregon, and I definitely think they have a great Oregon. All they showed, though, is that they have a big old weakness on how to defend downstairs, and I think that was the critical failure. I feel like they made some good adjustments, but it obviously wasn't enough, and it's a case where, okay, they know what they're doing wrong now, and it's in a situation where I think they can make those adjustments. However, we've seen them also show off a lot of their strategy, and it's going to be more difficult going into it. Thankfully, they don't have to go into relegations next like FlipSid do, so showing anything off isn't a big deal for them right now. It just, if anything, gave them plenty of time to learn from what they were doing and learn from what FlipSid was taking advantage of. And I can fully imagine Most Wanted going into the next matches in Oregon that they play in the far future much, much stronger and more confident.
Yeah, the next big major train stop for Most Wanted is, of course, going to be those invitational qualifiers that so many teams are going to be looking for. So, I couldn't have said it better. They just got to, learn what they did today. Obviously, they had a sub, Fox, who did an okay job trying to make something happen. So, of course, they were a little bit weaker than what they potentially could have been if they had their full roster there. So, honestly, they come out of tonight with a loss, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world for them. But with that, I'm going to reintroduce my friend, Mr. Ty Tangles. How are you doing?
Woo! Tired. I'm glad we only had to do 2 matches, because that first match, holy crud, that thing took a lot out of me. But it was super exciting to watch. Folks, thank you everybody so much for being here. Again, we do apologize that we had to move Game 2 to off-stream, but again, that VOD will be available on YouTube over the weekend. And if you missed any of the action, so will all the other VODs. And don't forget that we start it back up on Wednesday, November 8th, with FlipSid and Most Wanted not playing each other, but both playing on Wednesday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Fellas, what do you guys think?
I think I'm excited.
All right. Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you being here together tonight with Mr. Talent and Mr. Oz. And Oz, are you going to get a Twitter so we could promote it?
I hope so, but getting one that's OZ is not going to be easy.
Yeah, good luck with that. OZ262985 or something like that.
Yeah,
OZR6. OZR6.
But I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you so much for being here. It was a blast having you here. Folks, thanks again. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you guys on Wednesday.